We're about to explore Toledo, this medieval gem that used to be the capital of Spain. It was invaded in the 8th century by the Moorish people, and they stayed here and lived quite harmoniously with the Jewish and the Christian faiths, which is why it's still called the City of the Three Cultures. We're sitting in Toledo's central square, Souk el-Abeid, named after an Arab market, Souk al-Dawab, that used to take place here until the Spanish Inquisition came along and people would use the square to watch people being burned at the stake. But nowadays it's far more peaceful and tranquil. People come here for the nice cafes and some people watching. We're standing at the Alcázar of Toledo, the highest building in the city. Its name means fortress, and it was built by the Arabs as a fortress in the 10th century. Then it was rebuilt into a palace for King Carlos I, who chose not to use it because they named Madrid the capital in the 16th century. And nowadays it's used as a military museum and the city library. The Callejón de Toro is Toledo's narrowest street, and there's actually a funny story about it. It's known as Bull Street because a bull escaped once, ran riot around the city of Toledo with its giant horns. Everyone was trying to catch it, and until it came to this tiny street and got stuck, they weren't able to capture it. So it's actually so narrow, we barely fit through it. It's only about 80 centimeters wide. If you're wondering why you keep seeing metal in all the shop fronts in Toledo, it's because they're famous producers of swords and knives, and also this beautiful art form called Damascene, which dates back from the Moorish times, and it's an inlay of silver and gold. The Cathedral of Toledo is the heart of Catholic Spain. It was once a mosque during the Moorish invasion, but that was destroyed in 1085 when the Christians captured Toledo. In the 13th century, a Gothic building was built, and it's a mix of Spanish Renaissance and Mudéjar style. This 16th century religious float has 18 kilos of pure gold, and it's paraded around the streets of Toledo during the Corpus Christi festival every year. The bell tower in the cathedral, its largest bell, was only rung once, and it broke. There's actually a giant crack going through it, so it could never be used again. The only ones that they actually ring nowadays are the little ones around it. This is a miniature reproduction of the cathedral, but it's not just any reproduction, it's made of marzipan, because that's a speciality here in Toledo since the Arabs brought it in the 8th century before people had found out about chocolate, so it's been a favourite treat here ever since. We're about to go into El Greco Museum. As his name suggests, the Greek, he wasn't actually born in Spain. He's from Crete, and he was born in 1541, but when he came to Toledo he fell in love with the city and worked here among the movers and shakers, getting paid by the wealthiest people of the town to make religious art and portraits. He died here in 1614 and his work is scattered all over the city. After soaking up the history in Toledo's narrow streets, it's time to sit back and relax in a Moroccan tea house and imagine that we were back in Toledo's Moorish past.